Like what we do? Consider supporting the channel by becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the description below. And as always, please enjoy the story.
Sore and red, my eyes slowly opened to the view of another dingy and dank hotel room. Another morning beckons me to move when I just don't want to. Have you ever played a video game? Got really far but forgotten to save it? Less likely to want to play it again, right? Reliving those moments you've already experienced becomes pointless. All that progress, lost. Tedious, right? That's my existence. I don't even really remember how I've gotten to this point. I don't remember the name I was born with. I've been so many characters now in my life that I'm not even sure who or what I am anymore. How many times has the game been reset without me saving, I wonder? Rubbing my face again, I reluctantly sit on the side of the bed, letting out a long labored sigh. I wonder what there is to get up for. Of course, being in a hotel room, I can't stay here. That unfortunate truth starts off another sorrow-filled day. That's when I remember it. That's when I feel the need for it. Reaching across the nightstand, it calls to me. It yearns for me to hold it, and of course, I quickly give in to its temptations. Smooth to the touch and warm to hold, the luminous tennis ball-sized sphere greets me like an old friend. Just holding it makes me feel better somehow. This friend, however, is more of a demon than an ally. I, however, can't be without it. Holding the sphere close to my struggling, broken heart, I take a moment to reflect on the souls we'd acquired yesterday. Those people whose lives I'd ended. I cannot stop it. Its hunger is ferocious, and those demanding needs are never met. Even the form that I exhibit right now is a product of its sheer lust for power. Looking down at myself, I'd almost forgotten what form I'd decided was appropriate for the moment, what form I'd decided to borrow in that second, stolen from another. I stand and look into the hotel mirror and glance at the scruffy male form staring back at me. His eyes are dull and lifeless. His form is unfamiliar and cold. I wouldn't even say hello to this person on the street, yet this is me. I stare for a moment as I take in more detail. I wonder who this man was. A family man, perhaps? Important to those around him? Maybe a lawyer or a shop worker. Guess none of that matters anymore. All that matters is not being caught, not being recognized, being part of the background, never in the spotlight. That is, until the missing pieces are found. That's how it must be. That's how I must live my life, for now, hiding from the many that seek me and what I possess. Holding the sphere up in my left hand, I stand closer to the mirror and stare intently at the reflection that I do not recognize as mine. This form will no longer do. I must choose another for this day. Gently rubbing my thumb across the sphere's smooth metallic surface, my appearance flashes and changes randomly, as if I'm an avatar in a cheap video game, being randomized constantly. I feel nothing, no attachment to any form or face I see. My body continues to cycle through changes in height, weight, gender, and appearance. I have literal milliseconds to gaze into the eyes of an unknown soul, milliseconds to decide if that person's stolen form is correct for me. Hundreds of different faces pass by, hundreds of different individuals are at my fingertips, waiting to have their chance to be seen and heard for the first time, in what could be decades. Slowing my thumb's controlled movements across the surface of the sphere, the faces flashing before my eyes begin to slow. I begin to see the whites of their eyes. Each face looked just as lifeless and cold as the next. Even the perkiest of sky blue eyes looked devoid of joy. As I said, I feel nothing. Eventually, I settle. Needs must be met, and my new form reflects that. You see, I don't have the means nor the will to pay for this room. Sneaking out of the hotel is made all the more easier when you're a completely different person, in every sense of the word. This young girl's body will do exactly that. Not as tall as I'd like, but I despair to waste any more time on what's become a daily inconvenience. Took me a little while to get used to the transformation that occurs to my body. Just dealing with the extra curves of a woman compared to a man was completely strange at first. Seems trivial now, as I live my life as a different person each day. This girl I am now is a prime case of what I mean. These bodies can be so different in size and weight, but now it's nothing different to me. The emptiness between my legs is just as normal and mundane as having facial hair. Looking for my large, very worn suitcase, I brush my now long ginger hair from my eyes and hold my naked chest with one arm for support. It's all well and good having settled on this form, but do I have the clothing to fit? Shoes and sizes have become my nemesis. It's rare that I have the size needed in my collection for each new form that I take. Hopefully, I have something for this girl's form. Placing the sphere onto the floor, I unzip the case, taking a second to study the mess of garments stuffed inside. I seem to remember having a pair of flared jeans that might just do the trick. A simple outfit will do, but it must have pockets. I tend to avoid female garments without pockets, just a quality of life necessity that I've come to require at all times. Pulling the crumpled jeans out, I hold them against my frame to check the size. It's a match. Placing them to the side, I now start the tedious task of finding underwear. Doesn't take me too long to find a sports bra and some female briefs. Quickly throwing everything on, I whip my hair into a ponytail and adjust myself for comfort. Although the outfit fits this frame perfectly, making me look extremely natural, all the items smell rather stale. Time to visit the cleaners, I grumble, picking up the sphere to stuff into my jean back pocket. Stuffing the excess clothing back into my case, I sweep the room to leave no trace. Leaving my keycard in the room, I shut the door behind me and head straight towards the lobby. Many times I've done this. Many times I've been mistaken for a lady of the night, visiting the man I was the night before. Reaching the lobby, I don't even look in the direction of the staff. The bustle of the morning breakfast rush was enough to keep me under the radar. Still, I doubt they'd even believe I'm the same person that checked in the night before. They'd think I'd gone completely mad. I'd think they'd gone completely mad if they did. This is what makes this so easy to slip out without paying. Exiting the building with my suitcase in tow, I consider hiring a taxi. The overcast weather calls for it. I don't want to get caught in the rain. Having said that, where would I go? What would I tell him? I haven't had a lead for months. Seems I really am forever lost, following a long-forgotten trail, bereft of any hope or direction. Aimless, I amble in the direction the wind blows, losing myself in the crowded streets, and I wonder where my next bed will be.
Susie!
A shrill voice calls out from across the street, causing much of the crowd to look in that direction. I don't pay it any mind. Nothing to do with me. My God.
Susie!
The male voice shouts out in desperation, getting closer. A hand then touches my shoulder, large and clearly shaking. It disgusts me. Do not touch me, I hiss, jerking his hand from my body. As I turn to look at this man who's had the audacity, his expression spells one of pure disbelief. almost like he's seen a ghost. His eyes twitch as he stares at me. I can see his raw emotions coming to the surface. I, I, I can't believe it. He squeals, tears now forming in his eyes. Oh God, he's a damn knower. This form I've taken has been bloody recognized. The sphere knows what must now be done, and it cries out for it. It yearns to be fed. It pains me to do so. Do I know you? I replied in monotone. Shocked, his tearful eyes grow wider. I can see his body physically shaking. Passers-by are staring at us curiously. It's me, he hastily exclaims. It's me, for heaven's sake, your dad. This is getting bothersome. Fortunately for me, I know how to handle this situation. Looking for a nearby alleyway or somewhere quiet, I don't instantly respond to his heartfelt plea. I may look like his daughter, but I'm certainly not her. Dad, I respond, playing the part until I can take further action. We should go talk over there, somewhere quiet. I point and start heading toward a darkened alleyway a few meters ahead of us. He frantically agrees and I lead the way. Susie! He gasps, struggling to breathe normally. We all thought... Silence follows as we get closer to the alleyway. I know what he's about to say. I've heard it all before. We all thought you were, well, dead. He continues, sobbing through a relieved smile. Turning to face him with the dark alley to my back, I smirk. Come, talk to me more, I reply, giving him a forced, friendly smile. I'm so happy Daddy is here to rescue me. Slowly backing into the alleyway, I usher him towards me with my hands. My grin grows wider and more sinister as he follows me deeper and deeper. Eventually, out of sight of prying eyes, I stop. What's going on? He asks, looking around nervously. Susie, what are you doing? Please, let me take you home now. I shake my head and chuckle. His face grows sour with worry. Pulling the sphere from my back pocket, I can feel the jagged edge of hunger emanating from it. I hate to do this part. Sorry to do this to you, Dad, I say sarcastically, staring at the sphere as I hold it up between us. The man backs away slightly. Susie, baby, he pleads, holding out his arms to embrace me. I don't understand what's happening right now or what happened to you. Please, just come home. Everyone will be ecstatic to see you. Like I said, I repeat sullenly, backing away as he approaches. I'm sorry. Just like that, the sphere burns bright with brilliant white light. Although I can no longer see, I can feel it moving and twitching in my hand as it feeds on another unsuspecting soul. Just like that, my body reverts to another form. As the light fades, the sunspots in my eyes cause me to be dazed. I drop to my knees but clutch the sphere tight. Allowing a moment for my vision to clear, I feel clearly the changes that have occurred. I can feel my feminine garments stretching and struggling to contain this new male form. Great, I grumble, pulling my suitcase close. Getting to my feet, I see the man's clothes piled up in front of me. All that is left of the man from seconds ago. I must act quickly to get into them before anyone sees me. Questions would be asked, and I don't want that. Another outfit for my collection, I whisper quietly as I pick up the man's shirt. Another soul lost forever, but at least his clothes are clean. Reaching for his shoes, I look down at my newly acquired form and wonder, who was this person? I spend a moment to wonder, then I realize I feel nothing.